They're our audience today. Pornography. There are very few words that will arouse such a vast range of emotions as this one. Even in just hearing this, some have become defensive, some have become judgmental, and some just are simply curious. But pornography is not just a harmless hobby that is protected by the First Amendment. Today, pornography has become a social problem because it affects men, women, and children by defrauding what God has created to be intimate, pure, and satisfying into apathetic, impure, and unsatisfying. I currently am studying psychology with a concentration in Christian counseling and crisis trauma, with the hopes to one day work with sex trafficking victims. And in my research, I have found that pornography is a major contributor to the demand of sex trafficking. And I believe that through education and awareness, we can show how God intended people to live in love by pulling back the curtain of the consequences of pornography. And in this brief time I have for you today, I will skim the surface on what pornography is, how it works, and how it affects our whole society. So first off, what is pornography? If you break down the term pornography, you will see that it comes from the Greek words porne, which means whores, and graphene, which is writing. So pornography literally means the writing of whores. See, pornography literally takes the act of intimacy out of a sexual relationship. And when we take intimacy out of the equation, sex is just reduces people to commodities to be consumed for satisfaction, rather than people to be bonded together through a shared experience. So how does pornography work? Well, in order to understand how pornography works, we must understand how God created us to work first. God created us with sexual instincts, and we are compelled to seek out sexual intimacy. And when the drive is satisfied, it is pleasurable. But pornography is a shortcut created by man to find that sexual pleasure. But in this shortcut, we lose the satisfaction. Struthers once said, "It is not the shouting of pornography that gives it so much power over men. It is the whispering of the lie of sexual fulfillment that preys on our human insecurities." So how does it affect our whole society? Well, for starters, let's talk about the men who are viewing it. Because pornography only touches the surface of a man's true desire, which is intimacy, when a man is done viewing it, he's actually left even emptier than before. And so to gain the same sensation or to gain the same satisfaction that he is searching for, he must add to the previous dose. And in increasing the tolerance of porn, he will be led into deeper and darker realms of pornography. In the end, this can cause sexual impotency with real human beings, with real women, because he is turned on only by the computer images that he sees, and not by his wife or his girlfriend. How does it affect women? Well, first off, it redefines women's value. It takes a woman from being someone who is supposed to be protected, loved, and cherished, and demeans her into a commodity that is just to be used for self-gratification. Peeler once said that the testimony of persons claiming direct harm from porn has been crucial in forging new views about pornography. The women whose bodies are pictured describe coercion. Women sexually abused as children describe the use of pornography in their victimization. Others, often victims of battering or marital rape, will tell of partners insisting on trying some practice discovered in porn. And lastly, how does it affect our children? In a 2004 survey by Columbia University found that 11.5 million teenagers have friends who regularly view pornography. And approximately 75% of these porn websites will show teasers before even asking the viewer if they are of age to watch it. So there's no way to keep them from this. There's no regulation to keep them out of harm's way. And pornography is teaching boys that sexual relationship is about a control and a self-gratification. And it is teaching girls to tolerate emotional, physical, and sexual abuse within a relationship. So what can we do? Fathers, mothers, churches, politicians, what is our role in this? First off, we must become educated. Pornography has been silenced far too long. It is something that is just hushed about in back alleys and on websites. It is not being talked about openly, about the consequences that can happen because of it. We need to be educated, and we need to make people aware of what this is doing to our society. We have seen the consequences of it throughout the last 50 years, and I can only see more consequences coming if we do not take action now. If we as Christians are to live responsibly, we need to have a firm biblical understanding of our God-given healthy sexuality. So as you've seen here today, pornography is a social problem because it affects men, women, and children by defrauding what God has created to be intimate, pure, and satisfying into apathetic, impure, and unsatisfying. And through awareness, I believe that we can show people how God intended us to live and love by pulling back the curtains on the consequences of pornography. Thank you.